What is up, Bull Nation, and welcome to today's video. Want to go from Dragon Slayer to Dragon Lord? Well, today I present you guys my Dragon Lord build that's going to have you killing everything that comes your way. As you guys see here, it does a ton of damage. Your Mimic is going to be doing a ton of damage, and anything that comes your way will automatically be dissipated and destroyed. Today I'm going to tell you guys how to put this build together and why this is one of the best builds currently right now, because you could do this early game all the way through end game, NG plus, it doesn't matter. Everything will be completely destroyed. I'm going to tell you guys how to put this build together. If you guys are enjoying our content here on the channel, do the huge favor, guys, drop that like, because it does help us out with the algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe for more Elden Ring content. Now let's talk about how you can do the same amount of damage I'm doing and how to put it together. In order for you guys to put this build together, guys, you're going to need the following equipment. You're going to need the Dragon Communion Seal. Now, I have a guide where to pick up this seal. I don't want to show you guys exactly where to pick it up right now because I don't want to extend the video too long. But the reason why you want to pick up this shield, guys, I'm going to leave a link of all the stuff in the description as well. The reason why you want to use this shield, guys, is because it's going to do two primary things. Number one, it's going to boost your Dragon Communion incantations. Since we're only using Dragon incantations in this build, this is going to be doing a huge exponential boost to that. The number two reason is because this scales off Arcane, and guess what? The Dragon incantations scale off Arcane and Faith, so having a seal that allows you to have S tier for Arcane boosts the damage of those incantations. Really powerful, really potent. Now, the next thing I'm going to recommend, and I suggest that you definitely have to fire for this build, is the Jellyfish Shield. Now, I also have a video showing you guys exactly where to pick that up. My boy's still trying to cover that, so you guys can know exactly where to go pick that one up. Now, the reason why you want the shield is because it's the most and best shield you could have for boosting damage, guys. It boosts the damage up to 20% on anything, whether it be a weapon, whether it be incantations, whether it be magic. And since we're using these incantations and magic for this particular build, that 20% damage boost is exponential, because not only are you going to be using it, but your Mimic will be using it as well. In addition to that, the other thing I would recommend is having a weapon that you're able to apply an Ash of War to. Now, the Ash of War that you want to apply is the Occult Ash of War, because this is going to allow it to scale off Arcane. It's going to make a weapon going from a D Arcane weapon, as you see right here, to a B Arcane weapon. And since it's a letter B, that means that it's going to be scaling off Arcane. And since this build is primarily focused on having high Arcane values, that weapon is going to be doing way more damage with that Arcane. But you definitely have to apply the Ash of War that makes it a cold. Weapons I would recommend is the Uchiha Katana, and of course the Godskin Peeler, which are going to be able to have that Ash of War affinity in it, so definitely do keep that in mind. Now, I know what Johnny and Timmy, I know what you guys are saying, oh, 370 damage, oh my goodness, that's why you're doing so much damage. Guys, trust me, level doesn't really matter, guys. I'm going to have a video explaining it and showing you guys an example that level doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is you being able to know where to actually apply your stats, so you could do the most amount of damage. And I'm going to explain that towards the end of the video, exactly where you want these stats applied to. Now, those are pretty much the only weapons you would need. Now, I'm going to give you guys a quick tip or something you probably didn't know. But if you guys do have both of these shields, like you guys see I have two Dragon Communion shields. If you have two of these shields, these actually stack up. So when you have these activated, so if you want to have both of these activated and start casting and don't want to have a shield, you're going to be getting an extra increment of damage, because these do stack up with damage boost. Now, the reason why I like the Jellyfish Shield is just it gives you more damage than having two of them stacked. But if you don't have the Jellyfish Shield and just have these at the beginning, you're definitely going to want to run those as well. Now, the next thing we're running in this build, guys, is the Silver Tier Mask. Now, this particular mask is extremely important because this mask will boost your Arcane damage. So it's going to boost your Arcane damage because it's going to give you an extra 8 points to Arcane, as you guys are seeing right there. So it does boost that damage quite a lot. Now, another alternative is to have this one, which is the Albuquerque mask, which I have a video about. This particular mask will help you do a lot of really important things, but the main thing it helps you do for this particular build is that it boosts your Arcane +4. Now, it doesn't give you the high boost of this one, of the Silver Tier Mask, which boosted +8, but it's a good alternative towards early game in case you want to pick this one up and then go get this one. This one actually drops from killing the Mimic, so if you already have the Mimic incantation, or spell, I should say, you guys already have this mask. Now, If you don't have that one, you can also pick that one up. I have a video on that as well, so where you guys can pick this up as well. Now, with that being said, guys, let's talk about what we're using as far as talisman. So for the talisman, guys, the first one we're using is the Fog Canvas Talisman. This is going to greatly grade the potency of incantations, allowing you to do us a little bit more damage. Next, guys, we're using the Magnet Scorpion Charm. This is going to raise magic attacks but lower damage negation. This is actually a really good one because these incantations do scale off magic, so it's going to allow us to do a little bit more magic damage with the incantations. Now, a great alternative, guys, would be to run this one, the Faithful Canvas Talisman, which is going to rate the potency of incantations. It's pretty much the same one. This one greatly raises it, and that one just automatically raises it. Next one, guys, is this one right here, which is going to be the Marikia's Seal. This one is going to greatly increase your attributes. So it just pretty much raises up your mind. It raises up your intelligence, your faith in Arcane. And since all of this is being scaled off of faith in Arcane, and mine is giving you even more FP consumption, you're going to be able to get those raised up really fast and really easily. You don't have to use this one. You can actually go and do this combination as well, just to get a little bit more damage output. But that one's just for those of you guys who aren't really high level and want to run this build and want to save on a couple of points. That is a really good option. Last thing we're using, guys, is this one right here, the Radicon Icon. This is just going to shorten the spell cast time, so it's going to allow you to use the spells a lot quicker than you would. Now, another alternative option would to use this one, which is going to enhance the charged spells and skills. These are charged spells, so it does help out a little bit. But this one, the Radicon Icon, is the one I would probably recommend over here to be putting together. So this is the way I would run it. The alternative would be to put this one here in case you guys don't have the right points in your stats. Now, I know the question is, alright, Laser, that's cool. Now, where do I actually put these stats? Well, let me tell you guys exactly the way you want to put this together if you are not as high level as I am. Alright, guys, so here we are in the attribute points, and I'm going to explain the way you want to have it. So you see right there, I only spent 151 points, and this is basically what you're shooting for when you're making your build. The number one priority, guys, when you're making this build is trying to get your Arcane to 40, okay? So I have it at 55. I think 55 or 60 is a really good number, but 60 is only if you want to go over 150 points. 55 is a nice sweet spot. You could theoretically bring this down to 50, and you'll still be in a really good spot. You could even bring down this to 40, which is the soft cap, and you'll still be in a good spot, but I think 50 is a really good spot to actually be in when you actually have this build. Now for Faith, you want to have this high level as well. Basically, the way you want to do this is you kind of want to offset Arcane. Faith is not scaling it too much, so you don't have to have it at 40. You could get away with having it at 30, but I think 50-40 is a really good stat to have for Arcane and Faith, leaving it at a 90 total. Now, Intelligence is another one that you want to make sure you have a little bit of points dumped into here. This is going to help you guys, of course, with a little bit more faster casting and having that nice spell cast. And next up, guys, we are going to be talking about Dexterity. Dexterity is going to be important in case you need to use your weapon, and it does scale off a little bit about Dexterity, so do keep that in mind. Strength is another really good one that you want to have as well. It's not going to be too high and too necessary, just as Endurance. These are not going to be like make or break this build, but you want to have just a little bit of points in here. The one you want to have some points in here, guys, of course, is Mine, because you want to have enough FP. Theoretically, guys, if you wanted to kind of just be on the safe side, you could probably boost this up to 30, just because the more Mind you have, the more spells you're going to be able to cast, and I think Mind is going to be a very viable option. Now, for Vigor is pretty much your health. Now, you want to have a really good, decent amount of health, because in case you do get hit, you want to be able to tank that. So 35 is a really nice sweet spot, and these are going to kind of offset each other. You want to make sure you have them at the same amount of time. But for this particular build, Arcane is priority number 1, Faith is priority number 2, Vigor is priority number 3, and Mind would be priority number 4. The rest actually just fall into place. It doesn't really matter. It just depends what type of gear you want to have. But those are the main ones you want to have. And as you guys see, at 151, you're going to be doing closely the same amount of damage that I'm currently doing right now. So you don't have to have it at 370. 150 would be your main target of where you want to actually put this one. You could even bring it even lower than 150, but I think 150 is a very reasonable number in case you're putting this build together. Now, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about more stuff that you could actually do to make this even more powerful. So if you guys go to your Mix of Wonders Physics, you can apply the Maggot Shell Crackling tier. This is going to allow you to boost your magic by 20%. Yes, guys, 20% for 3 minutes. So that's pretty. I think it's 3 minutes. Is it a minute and a half or 3 minutes? Let me know in the comment section down below. I think it's 3 minutes though, for 3 minutes. And then you're going to be able to use this one, which is the the Cerulean hidden tier, which is going to allow you to boost this up to not consume FP for 10 seconds, which is actually pretty dope because that means you could probably get off 2 incantations really quickly and not worry about that FP consumption. So it's really, really important. The next thing I would suggest, guys, is, of course, let me talk to you guys about what magic spells we're running when running these builds, because you're probably wondering, Arcane Laser, but what spells are we running with this build? So we're running the Borealis Mist. The Borealis Mist is actually a really good one to have due to the fact that this particular one is going to allow us to apply frost to the enemy. And when we apply frost to the enemy, it's going to apply a 20% nerf to the enemy. So that means the enemy is going to be able to take even more damage when you apply this Borealis Mist because of that frost being applied to it. Then we're going to follow it up with this Mirror's Glintstone Breath, which is going to allow us to do even more damage because we already have that, already have that buff. It's going to apply that. The other thing that we want to like to use a lot is the Stormflies. These are really important because when there's some enemies that are constantly moving or you need to be on the move and casting as well, you're going to be able to use the Stormflies with that. And the cool thing I love about the Stormflies is that they give you the ability, guys, to stagger the enemy. So if you have someone moving a lot, this is going to be able to stagger them, put them in place. So you can come in here with the Borealis Mist and the Glintstone Breath to finish them off. Now, this one's pretty good, the Golden Vow. The reason I don't recommend the Golden Vow if you're running the Mimic is because now since they changed the Mimic and he's able to do different stuff, he sometimes starts casting this and it kind of becomes useless because you want to do as much damage as you can. So you could remove the Golden Vow, or if you want to get the extra damage attack, you're able to do that as well. But you could remove this from here and just have these 3 incantations going. So now that you guys know exactly what we're running, how do you actually want to wombo combo this? Well, it's super easy, guys. You want to get your Jelly Shield. You're going to want to apply that 20% buff. In addition to that, guys, you're then going to want to go ahead and hit your Borealis Mist, which is going to apply that 20% debuff to the enemy. And then you want to hit him with the Smear Glintstone Breath to finish them off really fast and easily. If you have an enemy that's running really fast, all you want to do is apply your Swarm of Flies, and they will not be able to charge you because they will be stacked and staggered as well. So they're just going to be like, oh crap, I don't know what to do, I'm about to die. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's how you run this build. The Dragon Lord build is here, and it is amazing. Really good for end game, really good for early game. To make everything super easy peasy, even in NG+, you won't have a problem with this build. I hope you guys are enjoying our Elden Ring coverage. If you are, do me a huge favor, guys, drop a comment, drop a like. But most importantly, subscribe to the channel, turn on all your notifications so you guys won't miss when our videos go live. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.